Hi everyone, my name's Heather and I'm one of the features writers for Medavia. This week I'm going to talk you through some of the stories we've had published in the women's magazines. So the first story is in this week's Pick Me Up magazine, and this was my story about a girl named Laura. She was born with a life-threatening birthmark and she's since had many operations to correct the skin on her face. It's a happy ending because she's now found love with partner Andy, and we did this story to raise awareness of the stigma attached to having a birthmark. Our next story is in this week's Reveal magazine, which was out on Tuesday. This was our writer Nicola's story. She was researching pageants in the US and their rising popularity in the UK. She found Mariah's pictures online and she contacted her mother Angela. Angela was more than happy to share her story on why she spent over £30,000 on preparing Mariah for beauty pageants. Our next story is in this week's That's Life magazine, and this was done by our writer James. He worked with Anna because Anna wanted to tell her story on why she gave up her kids to do modelling. She realised that her lifelong dream was to be a model, but to do that she'd have to move to London, and because she didn't want to uproot her kids, she left them behind to achieve her dream. She chose fame over her family, and this is her story. Our next feature is in this week's Woman's Own magazine. This was done by our feature writer Alice, and she worked with Stephanie to tell a story about finding love against the odds. Stephanie and her husband split up after many years together. He moved into a new place and his new roommate, Ian, got talking to Stephanie. Stephanie's ex-husband got the two together and they're now happily in love and are expecting their first child. And finally, one of our older stories is in the Pick Me Up Summer Special. We did Wendy's story in Pick Me Up earlier this year when she contracted a flesh-eating bug while in hospital. She was devastated when the bug ravaged her stomach and her womb, but she found love with nurse Kevin. We were really happy that they liked the story so much they wanted to publish it again, and it meant that we could get Wendy a second fee for the same story. So that's it for this week, but check out our Facebook page next week where you can find more of our stories, more competitions and exclusive content straight from the magazines themselves.